Good morning to all participants and welcome to this morning's video podcast. And thank you for your interest in spicing up your presentation, be it a lesson presentation or a report presentation. My name is Marvin CADORNIGARA and I am a New York City public school teacher. This video podcast is brought to you by my YouTube channel, Ilonggo Scientific. When the public education has returned to the normal face-to-face instructions in some country, other countries still opt for purely remote learning or blended learning. That is why blended learning is here to stay for a while. With blended learning, teachers can teach with digital tools and students can learn with digital tools as well. Last week, we talked about one of the best tools teachers can equip themselves with during this time of blended learning. We realized that a personal or a professional digital portfolio stores our files in the clouds. And files that we created and uploaded in Google Drive can be accessed anywhere as long as we are connected to the internet. Files in Google Drive can also be accessed through a tablet or an iPad or an Android device, but we need to download these applications in order to open them. When a teacher has a Google account, whether it is a personal Google account or a Google Workspace account, the Google Drive is part of the suite of numerous applications that are included in a Google account. Another aspect of blended learning that teachers can focus on is creating lessons through Google Slides. Google Slides is an online presentation app that lets you create and format presentations and work with other people. Google Slides can be accessed from your Google Drive. You click the waffle icon next to your profile and it opens into your suite of apps from where you can find your Google Slides. With Google Slides, you can create and present professional pitch decks, project presentation, training modules, and more. With Google Slide, you can build your presentation right into your web browser with no special software is required. You can create and edit and format and add animation to your presentation. You can also share your presentation and work with other people. You can choose who to work with and control the level of access and collaboration, and your collaboration with other people in real time. Even better, multiple people can work on slides at the same time, and you can see people's changes as they make them, and every change is automatically saved. This podcast is about adding spice to your Google Slides presentation. It is understood that you already have learned the basics of Google Slides. Once you know how to utilize Google Slides, then you can add spice to it. If you need to learn the basics of Google Slides, I suggest that you watch the following tutorial videos on my YouTube channel, The New Ilonggo Scientifico. You can watch and learn through the different tutorial videos that I have uploaded on my New Ilonggo Scientifico YouTube channel. You can watch and learn through the tutorial video, exploring Google Slides using your computer. There is also a tutorial video in exploring the themes and the layout of your Google Slides using your computer. You can also check out the exploring the file tab for your Google Slides using your computer. There is an available video for the edit for exploring the edit tab for Google Slides using your computer as well. There is an available tutorial video for the view tab for Google Slides. There is also a tutorial for the insert tab for Google Slides using your computer. And there is an available tutorial video also for exploring the format for your Google Slides using your computer. There is also one for the slide tabs, and all of these last tabs in Google Slides are available as a tutorial video. There's one for Arrange tab. There is also a tutorial for exploring the Tools tab for Google Slides. And finally, there is a tutorial for exploring the Add-ons tab for Google Slides using your computer. There are a few interesting features that you can maximize as you utilize Google Slides. And we're going to focus more on some of these this morning. One of the good things that you can do with Google Slides is to add an appropriate image as your background. But when you share your presentation with other people, for example, with your students who will collaborate on one slide, you may find that there's a chance for the image to be moved. So you can actually make that image background fixed and non-movable by downloading the image to your computer first, then making that image as a background. So for example, if you decide to upload only an image as your background, then the image is not fixed, but it is actually movable. You can insert a background image, and when you insert an image on your background, you can actually look for the image and you can find the image from your computer. So let's say, for example, I'm going to insert this image as my background, and you can see you have the ability to move and resize your image, and there is a possibility though that you have to move your image just to fit into your slide. Once you have inserted an image to be a background for your slides, you would realize later that it is movable. And I've experienced inserting an image as a background to my lesson slides. And when students collaborate on the slides, there is a chance that students can move the image. So we can do something about the inserting or putting an image into a background that it is fixed and it is not movable in your slide. So I'm going to delete this. What we can do is to go to background. And when we click background on one of the tabs of Google Slides, you are given the choice to choose a color. So that from the color palette, you can choose whatever color of your background is. And you can also choose an image. So I'm going to this time choose an image, and I'm going to browse through and go back to that same image that I picked earlier, and observe that once the image is already uploaded as your background, you can now click done, and I do not need to make adjustments as to the size of the image. So right now, as I'm clicking on the slides, the image background, the background image is actually fixed and it is not movable. So That is one way that we can make our background fixed and non-movable by downloading that image to your computer first, and then we can make the image as a background. So um, we can now, um, so we can also find some of these images online, and you can first download them to your computer so that they become, they are saved in your computer files, and then you can upload from there. So now I have an image as the background to my slides. It is also possible that we can find some of the texts and images that we insert in our Google Slides to be overlapping. So when these happens, you can actually rearrange or arrange the order of the text or the images so that one is properly behind another, or one image or text is actually in front of another. So you can actually arrange the order of the following text or images in this example. So as you have observed, the, the text that says images or texts are overlapping. I can actually make this move in front of the illustrations. So what I can do is I click on the text box, and with a shortcut, I can do right click on the text box edge, and I will click order, and I can decide to bring the email, the text forward or to the front. Forward means it's just one step to the front, but it's different when you bring it to the front. It will be the front of all other characters, text, and images in your slides. So I will choose now bring to the front. As you can see, the images or text are now, which we can see is now brought to the front. So you can read it now. It is no longer behind the atmosphere or the sun. Now, what I would decide is for the sun to go behind the trees. So I will click on this image of the atmosphere filled with carbon dioxide, and with right click command one more time, I will um, choose or select order, and this time I am going to bring this image backwards or to the back. So when I say backwards, it will just move one over one place to the back of any character. But when I say send to the back, it will be behind everything else. So I'm going to send to the back. As you can see now, the image of the tree is now in front of the atmosphere because the atmosphere has been sent to the back. And I may have a problem with the energy pyramid here because it is behind the tree. So I can choose and change the order, rearrange this, and bring this again, bring this to the front. So I'm going to click on the I'm click on the edge. I do not need that. I'm going to click on the edge of the image, and I'm going to click order, and I am going to bring this image of the energy pyramid to the front. So it is now to the front of the tree. So that is how we are going to adjust or arrange the order of the texts and the images in our slides. That is if these texts or images are overlapping each other. You can also, so right now this is what it appears properly. So the images and the text. The other thing that we can do is the transition and animation that we can set from this from our for our Google Slides. And we can set up our slides for transition. So meaning how the one slide transitions into the next slide. And also objects in our slides presentation can be set up for animation as well. So when we practice setting up a transition of the slide or transition of animation of objects, then we can actually go to use the slides tab command and find the transition from there. As you can see in the transition of the slides, you can choose what kind of transition you want for your slide. So I picked fade. You can also choose from many others. So I'm going to click fade and I would click apply to all slides. So from slide 1 to the last slide, the slides will be transitioning as one fades, the other slide comes in. And I can also animate every object or sentence here. So I will choose first the image of the slides icon and I will click add animation, and I can choose the different ways that can be animated. So I would choose this time fade in, and I will click on the next character. The next object would be this sentence. I'm going to add animation, and I can choose probably fly from the bottom. So it's going to be flying from the bottom. And for the next statement, I'm going to add the animation and probably do it flying from the top. I can also set the animation next of the color palette for painting. I'm going to choose this time maybe I can fly from let's say fly in from the left. And then for the keyboard, I can also click add animation, and I can choose maybe um, uh, fly in from the right. And I will do the same with a soccer ball. I'll click add animation and then choose maybe fly in from the left. And before I move into the next slide for animation, I can click play and it will play the animation for me. So right now, this is how it would look like. So I can see the, the Google Slides icon fading in, and then the first statement is flying from the bottom, and then the second one is flying from the top. The palette is flying in from the left, the keyboard is flying in from the right, and the soccer ball is flying in from the left. And then once you are uh, you're happy about your transition and your animation, you can click stop. The other thing that we can do, so this is now the result of the animation of the previous slide that we have created. The next thing that we can do is with Google Slides, we can access more font. And here we see there are about 800 fonts available for us to use in Google Slides. And the number of fonts available within the slides as of the moment is very, very limited, but you can look for all of these 800, more than 800 fonts at fonts.google.com. If we access this website, we can find all of these available fonts for Google. And what we can do is whatever font name that interests us, we can take note of the name of these fonts, and we can actually find this font available for us. So for example, I would I would choose something that I have not used before and something that is interesting to me. I can find maybe the festive. So I will take note of these festive font. So as I go back to Google Slides, our presentation, we can click the fonts drop down menu in order to access those fonts. And you can see here, we can find our, if we click on the font right now, the font is open for us. This is available. And right now, the font of this text is Pompieri. So I will click on that and I will click more font. And I can find the list of all the fonts available right now. On the right side, you can see there's a list of my fonts, the fonts that I have already picked to be part of my font menu. So first, if I want to change the font of, the text, I will first highlight it, and then I will go to the font and to the font tab. I'm going to click more font. And since I know earlier and I have picked festive, I can type the font festive, but it is not found. So let's try another font. So you have now Delius and then it pops up. So I can like check whatever I want. So maybe Delius wash caps. When I click on that, as you can see, it becomes a part of my font here to the right. So I'm going to click OK, and it changes the font. So you can change all these fonts according to the fonts that you have picked. The other thing that we can do actually is we can customize fonts in the drop-down menu. So if we go back to our font, and then we can say more font, what we can actually do is um, see if we delete this in order for us to get all these the list of the fonts, we can actually click, and if we click this font, we are actually selecting it to become part of our font. And on the list here, you can find an X at the right side of each font that is found in the font menu. If I am going to, if I'm going to remove that, I will just simply click X, and that font will now be deselected and will now be removed from my font. So we can customize the fonts in our font drop-down menu, and we can also select the font. We can deselect the fonts in our menu. So you can actually also import slides from another Google Slide presentation. If you have some slides that you can use for the current presentation that you are working on, you can simply find these slides and import them to the current one. So right now, let's try importing a few of the slides in my other presentation. And so in order to do that, we click File and go to, and then also select Import Slides. When we select Import Slides, you can actually find the available slides within your drive. So these are the slides that I have already in my drive. So if I want to share the slides that I had for other presentation, I'm going to select that slide, and when I select that presentation, it opens up into all of the slides for that presentation. And I can see now the different slides in that presentation, and I can choose maybe choose this slide. And if I have some information that I want to share from that slide from that previous presentation, and put that same slide in my my current presentation, I can just click import slide. I can also pick as many slides that I can, and all the slides that have been selected can be imported. So I will click import slides, and notice that um, these slides which I have selected from my previous presentation are now part of, or have now been imported into my current slides. So that is how to import a slide from a different presentation within your drive, and you can actually have those slides as part of your presentation. The next thing that we can do with Google Slides is to publish slides to the web. The slides can be shared to the on the web as it's part of the sharing option of Google Drive. This is useful if you wish to share your slides with people who do not have a Google account. And when your slides presentation are has transition or and animation, it is self-running. So with publish to the web features, a link is generated that can be shared with the people who can watch your presentation from start to finish. So I can click File, and I can select Publish to the web. And once I select Publish to the web, then I have um, the option to generate the link that I can share, or I can have it embedded. And I have the option to start slideshow as soon as the player loads, or restart the slideshow after the last slide for a continuous play. And then I will click publish, and then it will generate a link for us. And then I'm going to share that link to other people so they can watch the presentation. The Google Slides also allows you to complete a few tasks within the presentation. And then you can do this by using the Explore button at the bottom of the right bottom right of the presentation screen. When you select the right panel, it opens into a right panel, and you can choose web or information from the web and from your drive. You can also, so with that, you can enter topics that you are searching on the search box, and then you can press enter. You're provided with online resources on the topic. You are researching right into Google Drive, Google Slides, and you may want to extract some information from the resource and include it in your slides presentation. You can also search for images, and you can also insert the images by clicking the plus button. And now the image can become inserted, will now be inserted into your Google Slides. And you can also explore files and documents from your Google Drive. So we can find the explore button at the bottom right of a presentation. And if I hover on it, it pops up and it says explore. So if I click on explore, you can actually find a search box in here. And if I type a topic on climate change, it opens up into web pages that talk about climate change. So I can open this, and this is a way I can do resources, or I can search for documents, and I can actually research on information here, which will become part of my, and then add that to my presentation. I can also search for files from my drive, but at the moment there are no matching files on my drive as far as climate change is concerned. I also have images, and if ever I choose an image for climate change, I'm just gonna click and then if you can see that, and if I see that closely, I can, and decide that I'm gonna use the image, I'm just gonna click plus. That will insert the image into that slide or the current slide, and I can make changes or um, adjust the size of the, the image. So that is what we can do with Explore button and the Explore features in Google Slides. You can also insert a video into your slides presentation, and you can let the video play in your slide. So say, for example, I'm going to insert a video, and you can see that your video is actually the video. You can search videos from YouTube, because YouTube is integrated with your Google account. So if I want to find videos for climate change, I can type climate change, or if I know the URL, or if I know the YouTube video, I can copy the URL, paste the URL here, and Google Slide is going to look for that video. So say, for example, I have chosen this video to be incorporated into my slides. So I'm going to click on that, and then the select button is highlighted, and I'm going to click select. And notice that the video is now inserted here. And you can actually put the video right in your Google Slides. And in your Google Slides, you can play within that slide. You can play the so you see, you can insert the video, you can play the video right in your presentation screen. The next thing that we can do is to insert a timer in Google Slides. So there are times when we are providing students with an activity, and we are giving them the prompt to complete the activity on a specific time. For example, if you provide your students with a 3-minute quick write, you can actually insert a 3-minute video to the slide, and it will run for the time it takes for the student to complete the tasks. So in that sense, as they are looking at the screen for the prompt and for the instructions, there is also a running time on the screen that will let them know that they are given this particular time to complete the assignments. So you can actually insert a video. Again, you can look for that 3-minute timer in Google, in YouTube. And once you find the 3-minute timer that you need, just click it and select, and it will actually be inserted here as part of your slide. And as you begin with the activity, the students are given that time. There's a countdown of the time that they are seeing on the screen. So they know that they're almost done when it's time for them to have completed the assignment. The other thing that we can do with Google Slides is to create scenarios in Google Slides. Um, you can insert images and from the web in order to build or create a scenario, especially a scenario that can illustrate a concept or a lesson that you are discussing. And then in doing so, images can be inserted from the web, and make sure that you insert transparent images from the web to become part of your scenario. So for example, we're going to create a garden scenario, or an ecosystem scenario that we can create in our slides. So what we can do is And we're going to search. As we go to insert image, go to search the web. And on the right side panel, we can type maybe we can say jungle, but we can actually specify our image to be transparent. And sometimes for kids, they would like clip art. So we can look for a jungle scenario here. So whatever is available for you, you can like pick and choose that and click insert. And observe that that image will now be inserted into your slide. So we are now going to um, build a scenario here. So although I can say that this does not actually look like a jungle to me, but you can, for the purpose of our discussion and for demonstrating our ability to insert some of these images to create a scenario for our slides. So the next thing we can insert actually is maybe put in some animals. So maybe we can say uh, birds or flying birds, clip art, which is transparent. So if I would choose this and then I will click insert, and I will be able to insert that this image of a bird. Remember that it is a transparent, so it does not have any background. So it would be easy for us to incorporate these images within our scenario. So we can adjust the size of the images to make it look real. We can actually uh, adjust the angle of the images just to fit into um, our scenario. I probably would include, let's see, maybe what's the, maybe we can search for a picture of maybe an antelope or a deer to include in our scenario. So most likely, if we choose this one, because we want it to be placed near the river or the stream, I can actually insert that image here in as part of the scenario. There you go. And then we can add more as we build on the scenario. So in Google Slides, we can actually create scenarios using images that we can search online, make sure that they are transparent so that when you incorporate them into the scenario, each image does not carry with it the background, so they will blend pretty well into the scenario. The next thing that we can do with Google Slides is to incorporate Bitmoji in our slides. In Bitmoji, Bitmoji is a fun way to incorporate your own personality into your slides presentation. You will first need to create your free Bitmoji account. And with Bitmoji, you can use your avatar to deliver your lesson topics, your headings, your titles, and concepts in a more personal way. So for example, right now on my Google Chrome, I have Bitmoji as my extension. So when I open Bitmoji, I will need to log in. So I'm going to log in to my account. And I did not log in purposely because I wanted you to see how I would log into my Bitmoji account. And now once I'm logged in, I can see I am in my Bitmoji right now. Good thing about Bitmoji again also is its ability to uh, integrate with Gmail, and you can actually insert your own avatar within your Gmail to give your personality into into that. So what we can do now is with our Google Slides, we can incorporate Bitmoji in there. So what we can do is open Bitmoji, click Bitmoji, and on top I can actually search for whatever available Bitmoji that I want to show. Say, for example, I'm going to use my avatar to illustrate core values in my class. So maybe I will need to show respect, and I want to include that as our part of our core values. So I may choose some of these, and if I don't like a particular avatar, I will just keep on typing respect, respect until I get a very like appropriate avatar. So if I choose this avatar now, I'm going to copy the avatar and paste it um, on my slide. So right now, just respect, but I don't think it's a good one, appropriate one because of the tier. But you can keep on searching um, for your avatar. Let's say the next core value is responsibility, and maybe I can use this one just for the sake of our illustration. You copy the image, and as you can see, the image also is transparent. So I can include that as responsibility as well. So even when I am teaching, delivering a concept, creating headings or titles, I can incorporate my Bitmoji into that, placing my own personality into the presentation. So um, using Bitmoji, I was able to create some posters for my class with using my Bitmoji avatar. So here is an example of a class poster that I created using Google Slides, which I share with my students. As you can see, all those different headings, and I put my personality into it using Bitmoji. I also use Bitmoji in creating lessons for socio-emotional learning for my class. So in just inserting some of those avatars that will send a message of what I want the students to learn and to do. So also using my own avatar, I created my own GIF, which I use as introductory slides for my lesson. So the first slide for every lesson is this introductory GIF, which covers the whole slide. And I was able to create that this GIF using Google Slides, and I used tall tweets in order to create the GIF. Then I incorporated the video as an introductory slide to all my lessons. Other than creating this introductory slide for my lesson presentations, I also created class posters in GIF. So it's a sort of an animation. It's a GIF. It's a GIF document, and it's a GIF image. As I use this for my class poster. To the right, you can see my class poster, and also to the left, you can see my Zoom room poster as well. So all of these are using my avatar. I use my avatar from Bitmoji. Lastly, you can incorporate add-ons to your Google Slides. The add-ons are customized applications that integrate with your Google productivity applications. Add-ons provide more functionality and ease and creativity right within your Google Drive, and applications without launching a separate website or a web page. You can add the applications from your add-ons tab, and from there, you can find the apps that work with Google Slides. So on here, one of the tabs is the add-ons tab. When I click on the add-ons tab, you can click on get add-ons, and it opens into a suite of, add-on applications that can work with Google Slides. And you can pick whatever you need according, based on your purpose and based on your use of Google Slides. And these are available apps from Google Workspace Marketplace. And once you click on, for example, extenses, where it gives you additional fonts, and then you can click install, and the app will be installed into your Google Drive as an add-on. Now, Google Slides allows you to create and present lessons as well as professional presentations. It allows you to present project presentation or create training modules and more. And with Google Slides, you can create, you can edit, you can format, and you can add animations to your presentation. You can share your presentation, you can share your work with, and you can work on that same presentation with other people. You can choose who to work with, and you can control the level of access and collaboration with other people. Your collaboration with other people is actually in real time. So even better, many people, multiple people, can work on slides at the same time. And you can see people's changes as they make them, and every change on your slides is automatically saved. So thank you very much for attending today's video podcast. Thank you also for your interest in my YouTube channel. This is your colleague, Marvin CADORNIGARA, video podcasting directly from New York City. I am also inviting you to visit my professional website. Thank you also for taking a look at the available uh, presentations. Right there, there are 44 workshops that I have already conducted in the United States, as well as a few in the Philippines since 2010. You can find my email addresses, and you can reach out to me using any of these. I am presenting as well my research textbook, which was published in 2002 and was reprinted in 2018. Please let me know if you're interested in purchasing copies of my textbook. And please register for the upcoming video podcast webinars that are scheduled for the whole month of July. These webinars are free, and all you need is to register in order to receive a certificate of attendance. Lastly, you can, if you have not done so, please click the subscribe button below, and you will be notified if a new instructional video or a new podcast is available. This YouTube channel is purely a service to education, and I am not getting any money from my channel. So you can see that the videos are never interrupted by advertisements. Lastly, click on the link of the evaluation form and complete the evaluation in order to receive a certificate of attendance. The evaluation can be completed until 10 o'clock this morning. Once again, thank you very much.